All right, Homesteader family, welcome back to the journey. Welcome to this edition of today's Homesteader with yours truly, Johnny Jules, and the noisy dogs over there deciding to eat all of it. Right, Minnie Mouse? Right. So it's the second day of the new year, January 2nd, 2023. And already I just got my first injury. So in my knuckle, I was out clearing the woods today and had a branch as I was pulling snap back, and it brought with it a briar branch, and it went right through my glove, right into my knuckle, snapped off inside my hand. I've dug at it, tried to move it, can't find it, and my hand hurts really bad. It hurts to even bend the finger right now. So hopefully that gets better or pushes back, and I can go ahead and find the sticker at some point and get the sticker pulled out. So, this is the New Year's New Goal episode for 2023. And I'm going to go over, I have a list of the basic year breakdown. And then on the back, I've got realistic goals and shot in the dark goals that I'm hoping to accomplish. But it's a shot in the dark because we have no idea if it's going to happen. So, this year is going to be a lot of uh, what I've been doing this winter: clearing brush, stacking, and everything like that. Because as everybody knows, it's 120 acres of woods. And with woods, you can't do too much. You can't turn your vehicles around. You can't drive through it. You can't really do anything. So that's going to be one of the main things that's going to happen this year. Of course, I've got other things that are going to stop me. Then the weather's going to stop me, and then I'll get back into it. So basically, January and February is going to be clearing along Purdom Lane. That's going to be one of the main things. I want to have both sides of Purdom Lane, from the top of the homestead where the animals are all the way to the back of the homestead where my property joins Katrina and James' property, and clear both sides of Purdom Lane, at least, 10 feet back. Well, Steve's area is going to be a little less, but everything else is probably going to be 20, 30, 40 feet wide, because I want to do orchards and all that type of stuff. Now, I won't be doing orchards this year because I've got to get the woods cleared and do all these things I already have planned. So every dollar is going into the homestead this year. I'm not going to do any work here, I don't believe. I might do a couple things here, but everything's going to go into the homestead out there. So, like I said, January, February, it's going to be clearing along Purdom Lane. I'm going to keep stacking the brush to make the natural fence lines. Of course, I'm going to have to put fence up because the animals go right over the brush pile and through the brush pile. So that doesn't work as a fence like I was hoping. And then towards the end of February, early part of March, I am going to use my money because February, I'll have my credit cards completely paid off. So no more paying interest on that, on those two cards. And then March, end of February, I'll probably save a little bit of money. And then March money, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to buy a bunch of 50-pound sacks of seed. I'm going to do annual ryegrass, perennial ryegrass, fescue, um, ladino, white clover, all different things. I'm going to see what I can afford, and I plan end of February, first part of March, before we're completely into spring, to get the seeds out, so that way the ground cracks and open, and then spring rains push the seeds down inside the ground. Because everybody knows I don't do the tilling. You saw what I did back, not 2022, but 2021, when I just hand threw and used a little hand seeder to put out the purple top turnips. And me and Carla got those huge purple top turnips. So, doing the seeds the way I do it, when I decide to plant the seeds, when I do, it turns out to work. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to try to get a little extra vegetation for the animals this year to help cut back on the cost of feed. Then April, May, and June, or actually, let me slide back to March. So the end of March, I'm going to be opening the snowball stand. So I'm not going to do 7 days a week like I did before, because there's just not enough business in this area except for tourists. So I'm going to cut back. I'm not going to do 7 days a week. Right now, I'm only thinking about doing like a 3 day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because like I said before, the snowball stand was to try to help my neighbors that aren't going to be here anyhow. And I don't want to dedicate all the time and everything to uh, a public business just because that's not my forte. My forte is being out at the homestead, being out with the animals. So I'll open the snowball stand end of March, probably start out with just weekends, see how that goes. I might do more days, but right now, probably just the weekends. And then April, May, and June, that's going to be June is when the first, second week of June is when everything heats up. Humidity is too bad to do anything. So from April, May, and June, whatever I can do, I'm going to be clearing the brush along Purdom Lane, stacking the brush. I do plan before June gets here, or maybe the first week of June, I'll have money saved up from April, May, and June to go ahead and hire the forestry mulchers to come out again. So I'll get another forestry mulching done sometime between April, May, and June. I'm also back here in the fenced-in area for the dogs that I was planning to turn into a garden area. I'm gonna get the fence put up here to make sure the dogs can't get over there. Get a little gate put in so I can go ahead and get some vegetable seeds put in. Now I'm gonna basically do the same thing I'm doing over at the homestead, but I'm gonna take a stick and just pop a bunch of holes in the ground, and every hole I pop, drop a seed down. So I'm not gonna really put a bunch of effort into a garden here at the restaurant, but if the vegetables do end up growing, then I have free vegetables growing here in the yard along with the garlic. I'm gonna thin out the garlic patch this year and try to produce a little bit of vegetables. Like I said, this year is not the big orchard, the big flower gardens, the big gardens, vegetable gardens, and stuff. That's probably going to be next year. This year is going to be just focusing on getting the woods cleared, possibly getting fencing done, getting a house site set up, and all that type of stuff. So that takes us to mid June to July and August, which is going to be hibernating, meaning I'm in here locked in with 3 ACs running 24/7, trying to stay cool and running the snowball stand. At that point, when it's that hot, I'll probably start doing 5, 6, 7 days a week because it's too hot to do anything out at the homestead. So I'll be dedicating my time here. And if I'm going to be here, then I might as well have the business open. So if business comes in, business comes in. If not, try to make some of my money back from the investment that I put in. Like I said, I've got about 25 grand invested. So try to pull some of my money back in before I close down. I'm not sure, but at this point, I think this will probably be my last year of the snowball stand. Possibly do it next year. I'm not 100% sure, but right now, I'm thinking after this year, I'm going to really be headstrong into the homestead, and I'm not going to want any time over here except the hot months. Maybe I might reopen, but probably not. Then we get into September. September, I'll be closing down the snowball stand on like the first, second, or third, like I did last year. However, if it's hot like it was this year, I probably should have kept it open a little bit longer because it was a bit too hot to do anything at the homestead. So we'll see how that goes. September, I'll be closing that down. And then sometime in September, my buddy Steve's going to be moving out here. So he'll be out here. So, of course, I'll have snowball stand closed down. Probably be giving him a hand, trying to get things set up and planned out for his back part of the homestead. And start working on clearing woods and stuff. And then that takes us October, November, December once again, which is clearing, stacking brush once again. In October, November, or December, because July, August, September into October, I'll be saving money again because I'll be here. I'll have money saved up again for a second day, a second 10-hour day forestry mulching. So I'll have the forestry mulching couple come out again. So my goal this year is at least 2 forestry mulching days maybe 3 if I can swing it, and then a possible dozer in like December. Best case scenario. So that is the breakdown of the whole year. And then I'm going to go over my basic goals, just naming off what my goals are. So, my realistic possible goals for this year is clear both sides of Purdom Lane and forestry mulch completely down both sides of the road. So that way I can turn my vehicle around, I can get a trailer down there, turn that around, and have more access, be able to start planning for 2024 because 2024 is gonna be gardens, orchards, possible honeybees, because like I said, February this year I'll be out of credit card debt, and I am not doing anything else now that I can't pay off my credit cards. So everything's going to go on my credit cards because I get the 2% cash back on my cards. And before, I was making money on that. So getting $100 every other month off of cashback rewards was awesome. I've been paying interest, so that kills my cash rewards. That's going towards the interest on the credit cards. So February, I'll have them paid off. I'll still be using the credit cards, but I'll only put on what I can pay off on the credit cards on the first of the month. So that way I'm not paying any interest, and then start getting the benefit of the cashback rewards. And that's going to go towards 2024 to get all the fruit trees, get the vegetable garden set up, and possibly get a couple hives. I have a guy out by Western Grove on the edge of St. Joe that used to have a petting zoo. He's got buffalo still, and he's got honeybees. He's said anytime I want, I can come over and learn about honeybees. So that would be awesome in this environment because I don't know how honeybees work in Arkansas, let alone never did honeybees in Colorado. So I might be getting into that in 2024. So like I said, 2, possibly 3 days of forestry mulching for this year, 2023. I want to stake out the house site up on top of the mountain where I had always planned to build my house. And then I want to clear it, get the small trees and stuff out of the way. If there's larger trees, I've got to figure that out. I want to buy and spread seed across part of the homestead and inside the animal pen they're in now. I know it's going to germinate. They're going to pluck it right out the ground and it's not going to grow. But hey, that little sprout is some food for them. So that's going to help out. I'm going to plant vegetable seeds, which I bought all those vegetable seeds you saw last year when I was at Carla's, and setting up the grow room, doing all the seedlings and all that type of stuff. I still have all those thousands and thousands of seeds. So that's going to work. I can pop them in. It's not going to cost me nothing. And then another big thing I wanted to do 2022 and never did because I kept slacking on it is sometime between now and June, I want to get the shed cleaned out. And then sometime next fall, I want to get the shed moved from the front of the homestead up to the home site area. And that way I'll get all the mouse poop out, get the mouse out, get all the trash out. Whatever's no good, I'll throw away, get that taken care of, and then have the shed finish insulating, get plywood, get whatever 2x4s and 2x6s that I need to finish making it mouse proof, and get the shed set up to store my stuff in for now, and then possibly have it set up to maybe move into in the coming years. Then my shot in the dark goals for this year is going to be sell the rental house, which that's a big thing right now. It's been on the market for like 36 days now. So I'm hoping over the next 12 months, I can get the rental house sold. And this is where a lot of the shot in the dark goals for this year will be based off the rental house selling. If the rental house sells, then that will give me a little bit of money. And the very first thing I'm going to do with the money, and this all depends on how much it sells for those of you that have been asking, I have it listed for $42,000. So it's not like I'm getting 6 figures or anything like that. So 42,000, then I got paid closing costs and the title fee and all that type stuff. So if it sells at 42, I'll walk away with probably like 38, 36,000. And so it's not a whole lot of money to do a bunch of stuff, but the first main thing is going to be the dozer. So I'm hoping if it sells sometime next year or this year, then around December, November, December is when I'll rent the dozer, because I want to wait till all the leaves are gone where I can actually see the property and I'm not trying to drive through all these leaves out in the roadway and everything like that. If I have enough money after the dozer, then my next major goal is to get a well drilled up at the house site. I've been told I'm looking at anywhere between 5 to 25,000, but for my area, all the wells around me are 20 to 25 grand. So of course, the rental house is going to have to sell for close to the 42,000 because the dozer rental is 6 grand, 5 grand for the dozer for the month, about 1,000 for diesel for 40 hours each week, and then that's a what 160 hours for a month. So it burns a lot of diesel. And then after all that's done, if the well doesn't cost that much and I don't burn through as much diesel, and diesel's not expensive for dozer, if I have money left over from the rental house selling, then in November and December, I'm going to start putting up fence and trying to start fencing in the property and getting that set up so I can get the next paddock set up for the animals to move in 2024. So it's going to be a long, long, busy year. Of course, I'm not doing the fence dance this year, which is nice, moving fences, taking fences down, re-putting fences up. But I will be getting a lot of forestry mulching done. That's guaranteed because, like I said, I'm going to be out of credit card debt. I'm going to be stacking money over the summer, and that's going to give me money to start making investments into the homestead and getting things done. And then, of course, depending on how everything goes at the rental house sells, and I had that money, then I'll be able to bank the money throughout the winter because I'll be using the rental house money to finance everything else. And I'll be able to bank money through the winter and into spring. And then I'll have a really nice nest egg set up to start buying all the fruit trees at Home Depot or nursery, which are normally you can get them as cheap as like $29. Now, with inflation in 2022, I don't have an idea what trees went up to this year because I haven't even looked at them. Uh, and we're talking another year out, so who knows where we'll be at that point. The reason why, and I know a lot of people will be wondering this, is why don't I put the money into the fruit trees now since it's going to take so many years for the fruit trees to produce? And if civilization collapses, then there won't be stores another 12 to 18 months from now to be able to get the fruit trees. And that is the simple fact that I have a bunch of wild plum trees, I have persimmon trees, I have pawpaw trees, I have walnut trees, pecan trees, different other berries that I don't know of, and then of course all the blackberry, raspberries, and all that grow wild, and then of course all the oaks that drop acorns. So if civilization does break down, and I can't get trees or trees go sky high, I have property in Arkansas. Uh, for thousands and thousands of years, civilization has been able to survive in Arkansas. Um, it is a subtropical climate. There's plenty of food sources here. And then I also have a whole bunch of pine trees. So, for those of you that don't know about the layer inside the bark, between the bark and the wood of the pine trees, it's an edible source, which is high in vitamin C, along with pine needles. You can make teas and stuff like that. So there's plenty of ways to survive and eat off of my land here, let alone the deer, the wild turkeys, the wild boar, the bear, and all that type of stuff as well, along with armadillos and turtles and snakes and everything else. So I've got a food source. So my goal this year, like I said, is to get the woods cleared out. Not totally. just at least down Purdom Lane and up at the house site, get my driveway put in. If I can get the dozer, I'm going to fix Purdom Lane. I'm going to flatten out some areas. I'm going to flatten out up at the house site. And then depends on how everything goes, then the following year, 2024, I'll be starting my house build. And I've got a idea of how I'm going to do my house, and I'm stuck on this now. I'm not going to do the castle like I was talking about, and I'm not really going to talk about my house idea right now because that's another year from now, and I'll get into that in the New Year's New Goal 2024. I'll talk about the house because I do plan to start doing some work to the house, at least setting up some walls and stuff like that. I may not have the whole house done, but I'm going to be building the house off of my property with buying minimal things from the store. So I'll be going over all that in the future. So this year is going to be a lot of work. A lot of things are going to happen. You're going to see the homestead evolving. You're going to see where I did ride along Sound Purdom Lane where you couldn't see nothing because it was nothing but leaves and trees right against the road, smacking windshields and stuff like that, to being open up like the forestry mulching video that I did, the before and afters of the forestry mulching. You're gonna be able to see come spring when everything blooms out. I'll be taking video of where the forestry mulching was done compared to where nothing was done. So you'll be able to see the difference. And then of course I'll have videos coming up of where it was forestry mulched this summer and show you how quick everything grows back. Because that driveway that I started going up to the house site grew back so fast, I never made videos on that. And I had trees already growing up to 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick, and 10 to 12 feet tall already. So it's going to be awesome times. We have baby goats that will be popping anywhere from now into mid-March into April. The emu is still Humpty. The male emu is still nesting on the emu eggs. So we might have baby emus coming up. We should have other baby cows. And who knows what else is going to happen this year. Every year, everybody knows I do this New Year's New Goal 2023 or 2022 or 2021, depending on the year. And half of my goals never even happen because things totally change from what I think I'm going to do right now to where things happen 6 months, 12 months down the road. And we never know how things are going to happen. But these are my goals, my thoughts, my ideas. And I hope everybody is going to be productive this year. Turn this into the year of the homesteader. Start preparing your kitchens, your pantries. Throw some extra canned goods, some ramen noodles, some beef stew. Buy some extra toilet paper, tissues. Make sure if things get bad later this year, like I said, I've been saying this for over a year now. I think between August and November this year, we're going to see food shortages, if not food crisis. And if you have the means to do a garden this year, whether it's just popping holes like I'm doing here at the restaurant and throwing seed out at the homestead. Of course, I threw all those pumpkin seeds in the creek bed and everything like that out on the homestead. So even if you can do something that small with a possibility of something growing that you can eat, could possibly save you. You got to remember, it's us, China, and Russia are the top world superpowers. So if something happens to us, it's not like Ukraine where we're giving billions of dollars to Ukraine. Countries aren't going to be doing that to us. They're not going to do food drops. They're not going to send in, the blue helmets to help us and everything like that. We got to rely on ourselves. So we need to get back to like World War One, World War Two, when the government put out pamphlets. It's your civic duty to get 2 chickens and to have a small garden in your yard to help out feeding yourselves. Why isn't the government doing that now? You would think with the egg shortages, the butter shortages, the dairy shortages, and everything in between, the government would be putting pamphlets out again, telling everybody, get a garden going, get some livestock to help your family out. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So we got to do it ourselves. Uh, we got to entice each other. We got to motivate each other to go ahead and do that. So be productive this year. Try to throw some seeds in your yard. Try to make a garden. Get some 5-gallon buckets or soup cans and make little seedling pots. Do whatever you can. It doesn't have to look beautiful. And we need to get that past our minds too. We don't need the most beautiful house. We don't need the newest car. We don't need the most in style fashion clothes and things like that. Get back to what matters. What matters is food in your belly, roof over your head, water to drink, air to breathe, and some beautiful, beautiful animals like Anatolian shepherds to keep you happy, motivated, and a fire to keep you warm. So with that, I hope everybody has a great 2023. I hope you get motivated. I hope you really do take my word to heart and get out there and do something this year and make this the year of the homesteader, the year of the prepper, the year of the rancher, the farmer, etc. And get something taken care of, something done. And with that, have a great 2023. I'll see you guys on the next video. Remember, live happy, live free. That's the only way to be. Happy New Year and good luck to you too, DT. Have a great night.